Some people think that cruisers just lay around all day sipping rum cocktails. And it's probably fair to conclude that we do get our fair share of chill time. But in this video, we're going to try to address your curiosities about what it's really like to live on a sailboat in the Bahamas. I'm Jeff, that's my wife Heather, and our boat Destiny. After years of planning, we retired from our jobs, sold everything, and moved aboard our boat to explore this world and the people living in it. We're just getting started, and we invite you to join us as we travel by sea to distant lands where we'll experience new cultures, food, and sea life. Come aboard and let's go for a sail.
When you live on a boat, you give up some of the modern luxuries and conveniences of normal life in exchange for freedom and adventure. For example, we don't have a TV, we don't have a dishwasher, we're not hooked up to the power company for electricity, we have a limited supply of fresh water, we can't just hop in the car and run down to the store when we need something, and we don't have a regular flush toilet.
But we've chosen this unique lifestyle so that almost every day we can experience a little bit of this. So, what is everyday life aboard Destiny really like? Let's start with the galley.
Our galley is very functional. We have a propane stove and oven, a double tub sink, plenty of cabinet space, a large pantry under the salon seat, and a decent sized refrigerator and freezer. Well, decent size for a boat anyway. We also have a microwave oven and a coffee maker, but usually only use those appliances when we're at a dock and connected to shore power. We make coffee the old-fashioned way, over the stove in a percolator. A trip to the grocery store is more of an event for us than it is for landlubbers. First, we have to put the dinghy in the water and travel maybe up to 2 miles in bumpy waters to get to a dock where we can land the dinghy. We usually have some degree of salt spray on us by the time we get there. Next, we may have to walk up to a mile or so to a grocery store. In some of the smaller Bahamian islands, you're never too sure how stocked their shelves will be. Once we check out, we've got to lug our heavy bags back to the dinghy and then shoot back across the bumpy waters to Destiny. And we sure hope we never get caught in a rainstorm.
When it's time to take out the garbage, it's a bit different than it used to be. We don't have a dumpster and there's no trash man that comes by the boat twice a week. Most of the islands in the Bahamas are uninhabited, so we usually have to store the garbage on board until we make it to a populated island with a government dock and garbage facilities. There's usually a small fee of a couple bucks or so per bag. We're very sensitive to the amount of trash that we generate and avoid single-use plastic articles as much as possible.
Destiny used to have 4 heads or bathrooms, but we converted one of them into a laundry room and installed a small Zenny washing machine. We still have to visit a regular land-based laundromat every now and then to wash our bigger items like bed sheets and towels, but the Zenny is great for keeping our clothes washed, and I gotta say, the window in our laundry room has a pretty spectacular view.
Our boat carries 200 gallons of fresh water in 2 separate tanks, plus 16 gallons of drinking water in individual 1-gallon containers. For the 2 of us, we go through about 14 gallons of fresh water and a gallon of drinking water per day. We run our Rain Man water maker every 4 days to replace the water that we've used. The Rain Man is a desalinator which has a special membrane that filters the salt out of the ocean water and produces up to 30 gallons per hour. We consider the water maker an absolute necessity for cruising in remote areas of the Bahamas. It's too power hungry for our battery bank, so we rely on our Briggs & Stratton 2200 watt inverter generator to run it. Other than the water maker, most of our other electrical devices rely on power from our battery bank. We have 6 Trojan T105 225 amp deep cycle batteries for our house bank. This bank supplies 12 volts of electricity to all of our lights, navigational electronics, the refrigerator and freezer, and the freshwater system. Through a 1000 watt inverter, the battery bank also supplies 110 volt electrical needs for things like our computers. When we're docked at a marina and are hooked up to shore power, we can experience the luxury of using the coffee maker, the microwave oven, and even the air conditioner or heater. Our primary source for recharging the battery bank is the sun. We have 6 100-watt solar panels mounted on top of the hardtop that do an excellent job of supplying our daily electrical needs when the sun is shining. On cloudy days, we may have to run one of the engines for an hour or 2. We have an 80 amp alternator on the starboard engine and a larger 130 amp alternator on the port engine. Life aboard a boat isn't perfect, but it's the way Heather and I want to live right now. And as Oscar Wilde once said, to live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people just exist.